What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Comic Breakdown. If you guys are new to the channel, do me a favor, hit that sub button and hit that notification bell. Make sure you're not missing any of the awesome content that we have coming out. And I am freaking excited about today. So many great X-Men titles have released, and we are starting off with the Immortal X-Men, issue number 3. This one has huge ramifications for what comes next. Most recently, we saw the departure of Magneto. His replacement on the council is Hope. We have learned that Sinister has clones of Moira, that he is controlling some kind of timeline. We don't even know which timeline we are exactly in, but this issue is really going to set everything into motion. It's going to set us on our path and let us know exactly what is going on. Now, if you need to get caught up on all of this, be sure to check out the link in my description as well as the top of this video. It is going to get you completely caught up on everything going on with the X-Men. Be sure to buy the comics, support the industry, and with that being said, let's dive into this breakdown. Alright gang, so as we get into the Immortal X-Men issue number 3, we are jumping some 100 years ago. The last thing we had seen from Destiny, she collapsed, and we are finally getting some true glimpses into her past, taking us to when she was 13 years old, when her mutant powers started to manifest. The first time that she saw the future, it really threw her off. She didn't know what to think, seeing so many possibilities, so many different timelines. She knew that her mutant abilities, this new sight that she was given, this temporal world that she is able to see, it was eventually gonna make her go blind so that she couldn't see the real world. Knowing that her time had been limited, over the course of 13 months, she made 13 novels. 13 volumes of her testament. These stories were just for her. We can only assume that she is writing some kind of future. By the very definition of the word prophet, that is what she is. We could say that this is her own Bible. Stories that would be hidden away and no one else would ever read them. Now that's when we pick up in present day. Emma Frost scanning over her body, trying to figure out what's going on with her. And it appears that Destiny is just being overloaded with possible futures. Even for someone as powerful as Emma Frost, this is overwhelming, but right now they need to get off to a council meeting. While there's nothing super heavy to vote on, Mystique needs to be there, leaving Destiny to her visions. Emma Frost and Mystique, they head off. And of course, Raven cares about her. She loves her with everything that she has. And with that comes concern, comes worry of what she is going through. As she continues to remember her past, we see Destiny going through all of the possible futures. She was able to see the individuals that may court her, how those relationships would turn out, how life would be for her if she chose that path. And so she is known for a very long time that she was eventually gonna meet Raven. In fact, she had been anticipating this, knowing that this would be the love of her life. One of the only people that has ever been able to make Mystique smile. Destiny held absolutely nothing back. This was Destiny's very first crucial nexus point. And nexus points, they are very critical to understanding Destiny's powers. Her gift is seeing possible futures. It's all based around chaos theory. Small changes make the future flux. Nexuses, they are landmarks which they can navigate through. They can bring them towards them or away from them. And so things that come after the nexus point, it makes it much more predictable for them. And while there are definitely other nexus points out there, Raven is the most important. That is because Destiny has built her entire future around her, around the idea that they are together forever. But falling in love was gonna be one of the hardest things either of them have done, because the two of them, they had to separate. For them to have a future, Krakoa had to be born. That means Destiny had to die. Krakoa was the limit on everything that Destiny could see. She knew what was possible. She knew that immortality was right around the corner, making sure that Raven knows to bring her back or burn down paradise. The reason she had to die is because of Moira. Destiny would have stopped at nothing to kill her, and in doing so, Krakoa would have never been born. In a roundabout way, this is really a love story. The love story of Raven and Destiny. How Destiny has centered herself around Raven, trying her best to ensure that there is a future where both of them live happily ever after forever, or at least as far as she can see into the future. Now that's what takes us to the Quiet Council. Hope now officially on the Quiet Council. They have their meeting as they get her completely caught up on everything, all of the secrets, everything that the Quiet Council keeps quiet. And Hope's first question is, why don't we tell everybody? Why do we continue these secrets when it's a possibility it will all burn us down? This is when Hope brings up the helmet that was brought to her by Xavier. Hope trying to figure out why this was done in the first place if you didn't want me on the council. What we learn is that they are learning this was Mystique. All along, she was playing every single chord that she needed. This was so she could bring Destiny back. Both Charles and Eric had vowed that they were gonna bring Destiny back, but they had no intention of doing so. That is all because of Moira. And so as the Quiet Council, they break into arguments. This person's lying to that person, this person's lying to that person. It's just one giant cluster of a mess. While they try to figure all of this out, we pick up with Destiny having a vision just like she did at age 13, seeing a multitude of futures. A war with the Eternals, Sinister creating his army, and Magic ruling over everything. Remembering that these are just possible futures, which means one of them could come true or none of them could come true. As she looks at the branching timelines, as she looks at all the different possibilities, there are many different branches, but for some reason, she can't see too far, at least in some of these timelines. In one timeline, we see Judgment Day, which is our war against the Eternals. It branches off into many different things. Nimrod Extinction Event, a new Krakoa, the Broken Sword, the Empire of the Red Diamond, and then leading to the Storm System. One pathway leading to the Reign of Apocalypse. Cassandra Nova, another Nimrod Extinction Event. And then there's another one, referred to as the Expanse. This one seems to be the most far-reaching one. While Destiny is looking at all of this, she's trying to figure out why some of these timelines she can't see too far past, as if there is some kind of mutant ability prohibiting her from seeing any further. And so she picks the furthest one away, the one that takes us all the way to the Expanse, somewhere far in deep space. All the way out here, this is where we have the reach of a mutant church empire. And we pick up with a ship covered in clones. It can be none other than Sinister himself. Unfortunately, Exodus has caught up with him. But this is not the Exodus that we currently know. This is an Exodus that has trillions of worshippers. And I believe we talked about this in the last issue. Exodus powers, they really are surrounded by the fact that the more people believe in him, the stronger he becomes, having the potential of limitless power. He is finally caught up to Sinister. After all of this time, after all of his sins, after he burned down paradise. As Destiny watches all of this transpire, this is where she learns the truth. With the death of Sinister, the timeline is reset. At first, this baffles her. How could it be possible that Sinister is able to do this? This obviously not being a part of his abilities. But then she recognizes that Moira can do this. Sinister being the man he is, she knows immediately that he has clones of Moira, that he is controlling the timeline. This is why she cannot see past certain parts. As she comes to this revelation, we pick up with the Quiet Council. They are all still arguing over all of the drama, but Destiny has come to let them know a war is coming. In a matter of weeks, it is going to arrive on our doorstep, and we must fight for our immortality. Telling all of them that they need to put their petty differences aside. The fate of Krakoa, the fate of mutant kind, is now resting in the balance. Not yet uncovering Sinister's secrets. She's gonna keep this close to the chest. She's not sure how she's gonna use this situation yet. Many of them not really wanting to take her word for it. Emma Frost wants to look in her mind, but Destiny doesn't trust any of them, asking simply to just have faith in her. faith that she wants mutant kind to survive. As Mystique and Destiny head back to their room for the night, we see Destiny sit down and she begins to write, letting Raven know that when she finishes this book, she cannot read it until it is time, that she will know when that time is, but right now, you can't read it. There is a major reason why she doesn't want her reading it. In every future that Destiny saw, Mystique was not there. Not a single one of those futures. And so to Destiny, if there is no future with Mystique, there is no future at all. And that will be the end of this issue. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. You know, this one's a pretty important issue because Sinister's secret of having Moira clones, it is out there. We can guarantee that Mystique has already found out about this. But Destiny, she is being very careful with this information. If Sinister found out that she knew, he could just go back and restart the timeline. That would make things very difficult for her. It would change up timelines, change up future possibilities. And so regardless, they need to try and stay in this timeline, prevent any kind of reincarnation. You know, based off of the timeline that we have seen, based off of what we know is coming out here in the next month or so, we can assume the timeline that follows down going through Judgment Day. That seems to be the path that we are currently taking with mutant kind. Of course, there are always possibilities for it to change after Judgment Day, but we're gonna have to see how all of that unfolds. Not only that, we have the Hellfire Gala of 2022 coming up here soon, and there is gonna be one heck of a surprise once we get there. I think this is becoming one of my favorite titles that is currently coming out, probably because this is pushing the narrative forward. We are moving our storyline to the next step. While I definitely enjoy lines like Wolverine, where it's really set aside from everything going on with Krakoa, so on and so forth, Immortal X-Men and X-Men Red have just been amazing storytelling. I'm really excited to see where they're gonna go next. Let me know your thoughts, let me know your theories. If you would like to support the channel, you can always do so by hitting the super thanks button. This button will let you donate directly to the channel, and every little bit helps us out. Now, if you can't do that, do me a favor, hit that sub button, hit that notification bell, make sure you like this video, and until the next breakdown.